Okay, that's the kitchen, and this is the family room entryway. There was vinyl flooring here before, on top of particle board subfloor, on top of half-inch plywood subfloor. So I had to strip out all that particle board. We had quite a bit of bad section, as you can see. So what I ended up doing is I ended up putting half-inch OSB on top of half-inch plywood. And back when they built the houses in the 70s around here, that's how they did it. They put the particle board subfloor on top of plywood. I really wish they wouldn't have, but they did. So what we're going to do is we dry laid the tiles last night and got our pattern figured out. We want to do 4 tiles across. And it'll be 4 tiles by 4 tiles, basically. It'll be a square. And now I'm going to get the measurements for the Hardibacker, and I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to screw that down to the subfloor. Now, I know a lot of people are going to comment on the amount of screws that I used. There's a reason for that, I think. And this floor, it had a lot of play, or a lot of, not a lot of movement, but enough movement in it that you probably would have had trouble with putting tile over it. And I just went ahead and as you can see, I put a lot of screws in it. But right here, I can jump on it and it doesn't squeak, it doesn't move. And I had the same issues on our front door entryway. And I did the same thing with the screws there, and 2 years later, the tile's perfect. There's no cracks or anything. So it seems to work for me. Okay, these square tiles here are 13 inches by 13 inches. So 13 times 4, that's 52 inches. I ignored the gap in between them, so I cut our piece to 52 inches long. The Hardibacker is just sitting on the floor, and I have a vent here. So the next thing I need to do is trim out the opening for the vent. Now all I did was cut the length of this. This wall here is actually pretty square. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. So I didn't have to trim anything on an angle, thankfully. Okay, I got my opening marked off for the vent, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Okay, I have all the Hardibacker cut, and we're deciding to do 45 here at the edge instead of an actual square. We did the same thing in the living room. And in the living room we did it kind of for so you have space to walk and not have to step on the tile. You could stay on the pergo. In here we kind of did it just to match, and possibly for the same reasons, like if we put a table or something over here. So if you walk from the kitchen, you're not tripping over it. Now this Hardibacker, I like the grids on it. It's sometimes kind of nice when you're putting on the tile. And then it shows you where to put your screws in. There's an indentation. Now, I haven't put this, screwed this piece down yet, so I'm going to do that right now. And I'm using the screws specifically made for the Hardibacker tile board. And to drive it, I'm using this new Milwaukee drill that I just got. My old Ridgit died after 6 years, almost 7. The batteries on it, they just wouldn't hold a charge anymore, and I was actually on my, well, I was on my second set, but the second set that I bought was a used set, so those only lasted about 2 years. So I decided to break down and get a new drill, and so far this thing's working pretty good. I put all these screws in, and the battery still has about half of its charge. Definitely has a lot of torque. Isn't that right, Miss Kitty? So I'm going to go ahead and screw the rest of these down in there. Okay, I got all that screwed down, and the battery in the drill, now keep in mind it's a brand new drill, this is the first time I used it, but the battery in the drill actually was able to drive all those screws, and it still has one bar left and it's still going strong, so I'm happy with it so far.